Hello, everyone. Good Sunday evening. Wave if you can see me. Everyone's connecting audios, videos. Good to see everybody on a Sunday evening. Hope you had a nice, restful weekend. If you're a middle school parent, congrats, hopefully, on finishing your semester. If you're an upper school parent, you may be done. You have AP exams next week. So congrats, families, on making it through the heart of distance learning, where the finish line is you've either already crossed it or it's right there. So congrats, parents and students, on a successful quarter you'll ever have or have ever had in your school history. So congratulations to all of our get this far. This is our final Sunday evening Campus Live. These have been a gift to be able to spend some time with you all. We have one more Wednesday Campus Live on Wednesday at 3 p.m. So join us for that one. Periodic updates for you all over the summer as we prepare for next school year. So fear not, we'll stay in touch with you over the summer, updating you on life at TMI over the next couple of months as we prepare for August. And I have a lot more to say about that in the next couple of weeks as we prepare. But welcome again to this Sunday evening. Again, the whole premise of Campus Live when we started it about 4 weeks ago, was to, well, I guess maybe it was 5 weeks ago now. We started it with the intention of keeping us together. We're apart in these times, and so much of the heart of TMI is not just academics, although we're very proud of our academics. So much of Campus Live is of our TMI community is our community. And so Campus Live was always intended to be a way to keep us connected, even in the midst of a time when we are physically not connected. So thanks for keeping on with the community, because that's essentially everything that TMI is all about. Tonight, I want to talk to you a little bit about movies for a second. So this morning, I woke up early and I'm having my coffee and I'm flipping through the channels, and a movie came across the guide. And it's one of those movies in my life that if it's on, I'm gonna watch it. And so think for a minute, picture yourself, you're scrolling through the channels on your guide. What movie comes across the little guide, even if you've seen it 10,000 times, what movie is like, oh my gosh, I'm in for, I don't care if it's at the last 5 minutes or the first 5 minutes, I'm watching this movie again. One of those movies that for some of you, it's like, if it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night and you're just going to bed and you're like, oh my God, I can't start it. If I start this movie now, I'm stuck and I'm gonna watch it to the bitter end. So I've got 2 of those movies. One of those came on this morning, but I'm not gonna tell you yet what it is. I thought we'd do a little crowd participation. And so at the bottom of your screen where it says reactions, you can do a little thumbs up or a little clappy hands. If anyone would like to volunteer for us what their movie is, what's on that list of movies, if you're scrolling, what's on that list for you, I'll unmute you and hear what you have to say. So anybody willing to share what your movie would be if you were scrolling through right now, you would actually leave Campus Live to go watch this movie if you knew it was on right now? What's on that list for you? Anyone want to share? Oh, the Hawkins family is on. Beth, what's your movie?
Both of us, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption. I'll have more to say about that in just a second. Funny how much. Okay, others? Oh, Tracy's raising her hand. Tracy, what's your movie?
Ryan's Song.
Ryan's Song. You're going to stop everything and watch it. Good. The Bregmans. Chris Bregman, what's your movie?
The Godfather series.
Any of the Godfather series. Do you have a particular one that's your favorite of the series?
I guess the first one.
Good. Good call. Tony Marchiano approves of that. We call him the Godfather. The Velasco family. Monica, what's going to be on that you're stuck on?
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller. Georgie did not say that. Just Jorge said it. Georgie, are you approving that, or you're leaving if they're watching Ferris Bueller? What's that?
Absolutely, I'm approving that.
You're approving Ferris Bueller. Well, great. One of my 2 is Shawshank Redemption, but that's not the one that came on this morning. Oh, my mom. Look, I can't ignore my mom. Mom, hi, Mom.
Rudy.
Good. And just so you know, this is my mom that last week was on the video. She doesn't dance very well. I get my dancing skills from her. But thanks, Mom, for being in my Mother's Day video last week. So Shawshank Redemption is one of my 2. The other one that I go to every time, and that's the one I got stuck on this morning, was A Few Good Men. A Few Good Men and Shawshank Redemption are my two go-to movies. Even though I know how they're going to end, I will watch them over and over again. And I think there's something about watching a movie that you know how it's going to end that's just kind of stress-free, right? There's no stress in it. You're not worried about how it's going to end. You know how it's going to end, versus a movie that you've never seen before has some stress to it. And I guess my point in all of this is that when we have uncertainty, we have more stress. The more uncertainty we have in a situation, the more unknown we have in a situation, the more stressful a situation can be. And I bring all of that to light because right now, in the midst of month 2 of this global pandemic, we're all starring in this movie, our own version of our own movie that we have in the midst of so much uncertainty, which can cause anxiety and stress because we just don't know how this is going to play out. When will school start? Will the economy rebound? What will college admissions look like? What will be the long-lasting effects of COVID-19? Over the last couple of days, the email intensity is starting to pick up from you all parents to me, asking the very good questions. What will school look like next year? What's August going to have in store for our families? What does TMI look like in August? And that creates some uncertainty, which can create some stress. So many questions with so few answers. My overall question tonight is, how can we have hope? How can we have peace in the midst of the unknown? That's so much easier said than done, right? Just be peaceful, just trust, just have some assurance. How do you have peace in the midst of the unknown? Well, let's go back to one of my two favorite movies, which has the key, I think, to peace in the midst of anxiety. And it's not A Few Good Men, it's Shawshank Redemption, which is my favorite movie of all time. And it has the key word for me in how we can have peace in the midst of anxiety. And that word is redemption. Redemption means goodness coming out of ugliness, good coming out of bad. Shawshank Redemption has this scene in it, which is kind of the climax of the show, and the line in it, and I won't say the full line, I'll keep it PG, but the line is Andy Dufresne, he escapes from prison, he climbs down this pipe, and he goes through this sewer pipe into this river. And the line in the movie says, Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of beep and came out clean on the other side. That's redemption, right? Going through the mess and then coming out clean on the other side. That's the definition of redemption. Exchanging something bad for something good. Turning something that's fearful into something that's peaceful. Turning something that's anxious into something that's hopeful. That's redemption. And I think that's the key to having hope in the midst of uncertainty. I saw a flash on the news the other day, and it said that there was an article done by a divinity school, and I think it was in Chicago, but I don't know, a divinity school in which they did a test, a survey of Christians across the globe, and they asked the question, if Christians believe that COVID-19 or the coronavirus is a sign that God is unhappy with our lives. That was the poll of this question. And the results of this survey, and I don't remember the data and don't get caught up in it, but the data was that a majority of Christians believe that COVID-19 or the coronavirus is proof that God is not happy with the way we're living our lives. Well, I'm here to tell you that if a majority of Christians believe that, I am in the minority. I do not believe for a second that God causes bad things to happen so that good can come out of them. I do not believe in that. I don't think that God is the orchestrator of tragedy just so that good can come out of it. Many of you know that I lost a brother when I was 20 years old. My brother was 22, tragic death. And I remember one time, a few years later, now my brother's death led me to on a path to join the Episcopal Church, which led me to seminary, which led me to ordained ministry, which led me to my ministry at TMI. And when I was in the priesthood in the church, I remember one time I was telling my brother's death, and I remember said to me, oh, look, God caused your brother's death so that God could use you to be a minister. Because if your brother hadn't died, you wouldn't be a minister today. God caused your brother's death so that you could be on this trajectory. And I call total BS on that. Because I don't believe in a God that causes bad things to happen so that good things can happen and God can be praised. That's a God with an authority complex. That's not a God of love. And the God I believe in is a God of love. So a God of love doesn't cause bad to happen so that good can come out of it, which means for me, assuming that God causes COVID-19 or causes coronavirus so that people can realize that they've been off the path, to me is the incongruency of who God is. God doesn't cause hardship so that there can be beauty. I believe God redeems. God takes ugliness and makes it whole, which does not mean that God caused the ugliness to begin with. I believe in God that is redemptive, God that takes that which is broken and makes it whole again. So I am hopeful. I am always hopeful because I believe in a redemptive God. I believe that out of ugliness can come beauty. Out of pain can come joy. Out of anxiety can come peace, because I believe that God is redemptive. My life is one example of many. And I bet we could go all around all of the 40 families on this call today and ask you to come up with examples of redemption in your life. Places where you have been broken or sad or anxious, and out of that came something good. A job you did not get, only to end up in a career that was much better for you. A school year that did not end the way you wanted it to, only for there to be some kind of peace in your family as a result of being home together. A day that felt like the darkest day in history, only to bring joy and light to another day. So many examples in our lives of redemption. God working in the midst of our lives and bringing good and beauty out of ugliness and brokenness. And if our own lives are not enough of an example of how redemptive our God is, let's go to the greatest book ever written. It's called the Bible. And in that book, if it had a subtitle, it would be The Bible, Stories of Redemption. Think about how Abraham was too old, and yet God used him to be a father of all nations. Moses could not speak, and yet God used him to take the Israelites into the promised land. Jeremiah was too young, and yet he became a prophet of courage and wisdom. Peter denied the Lord, and yet he became the rock on which Christ built his church. Jesus was a poor craftsman from a nothing of a town, and yet he becomes the savior of the world. Story after story after story of God's redemptive nature, of the redemptive nature of our redemptive. Weakness becomes strength, sorrow becomes joy, anxiety becomes peace when you believe in redemption. I always said that if God had a business card, it would say, God, in the redemption business for 2,000 years and going strong. And if God has been in the redemption business for 2,000 years, who am I to believe that that redemptive story ends with me? Who are you to believe that this never-ending redemptive God is just going to stop doing what God has done for 2,000 years and it's going to stop with you? I believe that life is a series, a journey, right, of dips and rises, plateaus and highs and lows. And here's one thing about a roller coaster ride or about a journey of life. This is true. The deeper the journey goes this way, the closer we're getting to an upswing. So the darker your day is, just hold on, because it means an upswing is coming. The tougher that the ride seems to dip, the closer you are to climbing back out of that dip. I also believe in old Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You've heard that before. And as we think, man, this feels like a shadow of death right now. I'm so tired of being home, or I have so much anxiety, or I feel like there's this shadow over me. But remember, my friends, what must be present in order for there to be a shadow? What must be present in order for there to be a shadow is light. You cannot have a shadow without. This year was see the light in each other. And you must know that even if you feel like the shadow of death is over you in this day, in this time, in this moment, there is light beyond that shadow. I don't know how this movie ends, my friends. Now, not knowing how this movie ends does not mean that we're not planning for a variety of endings. Back to old TMI. I don't know what August looks like when we return to campus, or if we return to campus. I don't know what next fall semester looks like academically, but I can tell you I'm preparing. I can tell you about our academic response team that has been working tirelessly to prepare us for any scenario that comes our way. I can tell you about the return to campus safety plan that we're working on to ensure that everybody that comes to campus is healthy and those who are on campus remain healthy. I'm going to share all of that stuff with you very soon. Look for an invite to come to a broader conversation with me about life at TMI next semester. I'm committing to you to have some of those responses to you by June the 1st. So if you're wondering about those details, and if you're sucked into the drama of what's going to happen, hold on. By June 1st, I will have a total response to you about the planning. But I don't know how it's going to end. I can't tell you how this script plays out. I can't tell you how this movie ends. But this I know. In the end, all will be well. Of that I am confident. Why am I confident? Because I believe in redemption. Because I believe in light. What good will come out of COVID-19? I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. Maybe it's families spending more time together. Maybe it's humans valuing health more than success in material items. There's good happening in your life. What good is happening now that you hope stays, even when we return to normal? You and I, my friends, are walking examples of redemption. We are redemptive stories living on this earth. And I don't know how our movie ends, but I know it's going to be epic. Maybe even Academy Award winning. So keep the faith. Put one foot in front of the other. Keep your eyes up and your hearts full. Because our loving, redemptive God will do what our loving, redemptive God has done for 2,000 years. Of that, I am quite confident. My two favorite quotes from my two favorite movies. You want the truth? And get busy living or get busy dying. Those are my two favorite quotes from those two movies. So I'm going to combine those two quotes as I close us tonight. Here's my truth. God redeems. Therefore, I choose to get busy living. A redemptive life full of hope and light and anticipation and love. I hope you'll choose redemption too, and I bet you will. I love you all. I hope to see you on campus soon, but until then, have a wonderful week and stay safe. Good night, everybody. I love you.